Good morning. Welcome back to my corner, the only clean corner in the house, and right now I'm surrounded by science stuff, so it's not even that clean. So I'm gonna go through some super cool products, some free products, my yay or nay, what I would never get again, and a ton of science options. I did do a video on how to create your own science curriculum without buying any curriculum as well, so I'll attach that video at the end, so I'm not necessarily gonna cover that too much. However, I do have two products that would help you if you were going to take that route. And at the very end, I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna do for my kids for the next few years. I've planned it out, and as far as I know, that's what I'm planning to do. Okay, so let's get started. Your free things today, you got Mystery Science, gives you usually a whole free year subscription, although right now they do have a special for homeschoolers, and if you already used your free year up and you wanna pay for it, you can pay $98 for the entire year, and it's got all these 5-minute videos that are really well done and really interesting, and it's just something you could do in the mornings. Like, hey, after we read, sometimes we'll put on a video on my phone for like 5 minutes to watch this little video. It's kind of a nice transition into the next activity of the day. Another thing I want to tell you about, so I'm going through the Rabbit Trails science curriculum, and one of the items in there, so I'm gonna give you a little free exercise as to what they did, because we did it yesterday and it was pretty cool, which is, so we're studying the power of the sun, and they have some books we recommend that go along with it, so we read about the sun in this book, and then I said, let's test the power of the sun. You just take a black piece of construction paper, and on top of it, you put on like some coins, some change, some rocks. We just use Legos because we have a ton of Legos. We have an insane amount of Legos, so we put a bunch of Legos on, and then you leave it out in the sun, and then a couple hours later, you see like how powerful is the sun. Because you could flip it over too and see what it used to look like, and you could pick the Lego pieces off and see that it was black before, and now it's, a different color. So very cool. So I'm going through that curriculum as well this week, so I'm hopefully have a review for you soon. I'm just getting a little backed up because I have to clean my house this week. I know, you'd be like, well, don't you have to clean your house normally? Yes, but now people are actually coming through to see it. The landlord's coming through because we're leaving this house. We just rented it for the year, a couple years. And so I gotta clean it up. Like make sure it's like, spotless. Okay, hold on, kid's crying. All right, I am back. Drama. Okay. So what's next on my list? We got products. I love showing you cool products. Like, I love it. I'm gonna show you a couple books, but I'm not gonna pour down on the science books. But this book, I love it. It's got bookmarks. Oh my gosh, little ribbons for bookmarks. And it's good for Christian and it's good for secular as well. It's just got a lot of good, look at that. That's what we were studying. That's what we read today. Or this week, this sun, did like a little mini science unit, okay? So it's just the universe book, very cool, highly recommended for astrology. So I'm trying to show you a bunch of different curriculums, a bunch of different options based on what would be best for you. I'm not gonna give you like too much of an opinion. Okay, I can't help it. I tell you what I feel all the time. Like I can't hide it, that's the problem. I'm just not good like that. Like I don't know. Anyway, look at this book. It's one of my favorite books, the Elements book. I also have an alternative that a lot of people like, which is this one as well. They're both good, it just depends on what you like. So this is the complete periodic table. So it's kind of, I wanna say like the element is a person and it tells a story about it. Yeah, it's like telling a story. And then this one is good, even for little kids, this one is good. It has the elements and then it tells you what it's used for today, like where you'll find this element in today's world, which is what I like. Trying to keep it in piles. Another book, Physical Science and comic books. I am all about the comic books. Look at this. So it just teaches, it's Wile E. Coyote, and he's talking about physical science. Cool on him. This actually comes with the Noeo Science curriculum. If you get the Noeo, is it the Noeo Science curriculum? I don't know, don't quote me on that. It's one of the curriculums. I feel like it does come with that. One of the curriculums it does, maybe not that one, but it's one of the curriculums does recommend this. For the life of me, I can't remember at the moment. Okay, Asteroid Escape, it is, I love solo games because you can do it as a team with your kids. Even if it's not, like this is age 8 to adult, we can do it with the younger kids. You just do it as a team together. So there you go. And then of course my 13-year-old can do it by himself, but it's just, it's a cool space. If you're going like, I love themes, right? Who doesn't love themes when you homeschool? Who doesn't love themes? Okay, of course my favorite books for just teaching stuff. So like, look, this is how it teaches DNA. So, so that's how it teaches DNA. It's like, it teaches, so I'm gonna show you a couple different curriculums from this company today. And one of them I'm using at the end. I'm gonna tell you which one I switched and decided I was gonna do something different. But these books, if you just wanna go it alone, it's $79 for each set because there's 5 different areas. You don't have to get them all. You can just get, some of them. But if you are full of money, go ahead, get every set. Simple Machine, this comes in Noeo Science. So it's $29 if you want to buy it separate. If you don't want to buy Noeo Science, I'll tell you about it right now. It's grade 1 through 3. Like, they have a couple different options, but the box I got was grade 1 through 3. They got chemistry. You can order the box, the physics, or there's one other area. I don't know, physics, maybe biology. And I ordered the physics, and so this came in the physics box. But if you want to buy it separately, $29. Look at this, look what I got. It's a little mini robot kit. So there's 7 robots that you build. So, and they all do different things. So you're learning like a different way that these parts can move. But beyond that, there's not much robotics training except don't throw it, don't drop it on the floor, and don't put it in water. Okay, next up is these. And it is, you make atoms. Look at that. I mean, it's just so fun to pull out. Because I showed you one day how I taught school that day, and I pulled out this, right? So it tells you, hey, this what makes that type of atom. And then I matched it with these type of books here. You could either do the DNA, but we just did the atoms and the molecules. So I'm teaching it to really little kids, easy to do. Okay, so that is your I got one more product, because I love these cards. I love these cards. These are like my favorite. They're the Earth Sciences card, and again, they're Christian, but like there's nothing in here that I find that says, like, so if you're secular, I just don't see a problem because there's nothing overtly Christian about them, even though they are used in a Christian curriculum. So, which I find also a little confusing. I don't understand why that is, but whatever. Now, remember, when I say Christian and when I say secular, if you don't talk about God, I'm gonna throw you in the secular thing unless you mention, unless you specifically mention that you're like open to everyone, which generally I consider secular things open to everyone, unless there's a couple that I almost find are so secular that they talk about like the age of the earth, or they go just so far into it that I wouldn't recommend it. And there's a couple that I'll tell you, but there's, for the most part, if you don't, and if you mention God at all in any way, I'm like, that's Christian. So that's just how I separate them. Easy. That doesn't always mean it's correct, right? But okay. And both options are good. Both options have good information. Both do. So plants, and then on the back you read about a plant. So this is great especially if you're doing like a DIY. I just love it. You pull a card up and we're like, hey, this week let's talk about factors that affect the weather. And then, hey, how are crystals formed? Because on the back it's got a bunch of information and stuff. Okay? So I love those. I just went and ordered a whole bunch more of different topics and everything because I love it. I just think it's great. All right. Ooh, I want to show you one more product. This is the book of animal poetry because it's animals, because it's free too, you get from the library. And so you're like, hey, we're talking about seals today, which a good book is the Animals book by Usborne if you want to talk about different habitats and stuff. But a lot of mini study units, I'm going to mention some mini study units as well today too. Okay, so let's get to curriculums. Okay, so we got, so if you want a really gentle but good curriculum, if you're a Christian, you can go with Rabbit's Trail. And if you really want a second one, you can go Blossom and Root. They're both very gentle. They deal with nature. They have good information about, good scientific information. It's good for little kids. So let's go on to, like, Blossom and Root. I've showed you theirs before. I'll attach the video if I can find it, or I'll put it up on the screen so you can see it. But it's space, and it is like, so they have a nature and a space one for the young kids. But whatever, if you want a gentle one where you can do nature in your house and not actually have to leave your house too much, and it's a higher price tag. So what I like about Rabbit's Trail and Blossom and Root is it's not that pricey. And so it's great because you can cover, like, get some concrete information, and it's not that pricey. With Blossom and Root, all the information is there, but they do have some additional book recommendations. And with the Rabbit's Trail, they have 1 or 2 books that they recommend you get that go along with the curriculum. And then they have additional ones if you want to get more from the library, right? But you don't have to. And what I like is they're both, they're gentle nature programs. But if you want one that is really indoorsy but outdoorsy, but it's more money, is the Beautiful Feet books, but the Seasons of Field. It's an A+ curriculum. If you watch my video on it, I guess I'll try and attach it at the end there. If you watch it, so it's a little more money because it's a couple $100, but it's, I mean, you get, I want to say 72 lessons, and you can do them outside and inside. So it's kind of cool to really immerse yourself in nature indoors. I think is great if you live in a city or whatever your reason is. Hey, maybe you just don't want to go trudging out in your boots. Although I did buy some boots this week. At the thrift store, I found 2 pairs of rubber boots for my new lifestyle coming up in about 5 weeks that I can wear outside, and just so nothing would touch my legs. I was like, oh, they go up to the knee? Those are great. Okay, so let's talk about another gentle one. This is, I don't think it's sufficient for a science curriculum, but it's a literacy program, 5-in-1, and they have a science component every week. Like you're talking about STEAM when you read this particular STEAM shovel book, and then you're talking about STEAM and you're researching STEAM. So it does go into depth of certain areas, but it's not like it's like covers every area of science, which when I talk about every area of science, I'm speaking of 5 different areas: geology, astronomy, physics, chemistry, biology, did I mention that one? Whatever the 5 different areas are. That's kind of what I'm focusing on for this. So it does have activities, but it's like super gentle. But this says, so it says for level 5 to 9, I would say grade 2. Grade 2, I would say it would be like your ideal age. Although, again, you could pull younger kids up and do some activities, and older kids can do all of them too. Okay, this is, oh wait, and this doesn't seem, I don't know if it's Christian or not, but I don't see any God mentioned in there. So take that for what you will. Okay, this one, Classical Conversations, definitely Christian. It is, now this is generally like, they want you to go to community, they want you to go to a group. It's a whole thing. So I wanted to read through and just see what their science was. That's where the cards come from. So anyone can do it. They say on their website very clearly, anyone can do it. It's open to anyone. Their science that they do, it's kind of cool because it's like, hey, this week you're gonna get a crawfish and you're gonna dissect a crawfish. And they also have, it goes along with this other book, an experiments book that you have to buy to do. So if that's your thing, and they also have an app on there. The app is super cool. The app has like all the different important scientific principles, because the whole thing is like you want to get these principles memorized into their long-term memory for kids, so that they're not, when they get old enough to use them, they're not working to apply them into their long-term memory and utilizing them. They already got them in their long-term memory, which is why those cards say cycle 1, cycle 2, and cycle 3. Because cycle 1, you go through all these cards, and I think like every day for a week, you go on the same card, the same card, the same card, and then the next year you do like the same card, the same card, the same card. Do you know what I'm saying? So like it switches every week through it, just to try and get it, and that way they don't have to memorize stuff when they get older. And it's kind of a gentle way to memorize it. Okay, now let's talk about, I showed you Noeo Science. So I talked about Noeo Science already. So it comes with the instructor's guide, the lab manual, and the experiment guide. It comes with like the experiment kit, which is super cool. Like it's super cool that it comes with, so this is grades 1 through 3. You can use it anywhere in there, and it covers physical science. And I like it because like so this is optics, and then it's got your instructions. What is this? This is the experiment guide. So it's got your instructions. So it's very clear and very easy to read. I do not get overwhelmed. And then it's got what we learned, which, yeah, you gotta tell me what we learned. I am not a science aficionado. I'm learning along with my kids, so you gotta tell me what you learned, or I'm kind of lost. Like, what are we studying here? It's the same with like the snap circuits, which is another amazing science product that I forgot to include. But the snap circuits, they have a little box in there to do it. And I mentioned them in quite a few science videos where you, like it tells you what you're learning and why you're doing that. And I gotta be able to read that little tiny box. Cause like I can copy the experiments, you just put these pieces where it tells you to, that's no problem. But then if my kid's like, hey, how does that happen? I'm like, frick, I don't know. So I have to read that little box. Okay, so this is the lab manual, which you don't need, but it comes with it. And it's just very simple, day 3 worksheet, reading questions. And then it comes with a bunch of books too. A lot of comic books, which I think is cool. And this is the physics instructor's guide. So there you go. Again, pretty simple, pretty easy to read, easy to follow. I like that. Okay, so what's up next? Elemental science. This seems to be open to anyone. I don't see any Christian stuff mentioned in it, and I don't see any stuff that is overtly secular in it. So to me, I think that means to me it's open to everyone. I don't know. Let me talk to you about elemental science. I think So they got 5 different ones. They're great read alouds, and it's really almost a curriculum in a book. And you read it, and these 2 little kids go through the world, and they got to go like, hey, let's go study, because they failed science. Now that their crazy uncle makes them go, okay, well then this week you got to go to the African grasslands, and you got to find such and such. So you learn about, like, if that's in the biology book, and then they got 5 different books. Okay, so let's talk about Real Science Odyssey. So this is level 1. It's another one of my favorite curriculums. So this is also, you can get another free curriculum, is the biology one. If you have middle schoolers, you can go and get the free biology one from Mr. Q's. I really like it, and that's one of the things I plan to use because it's basically everything you need to know for your kid for when they hit high school. It's created by a high school teacher. And so they got 5 different units. The biology one is free. The rest are only $6 each, which I don't think is a bad price. It's all downloadable though. So it's like, so now it is black and white, and it does have additional reading selections if you want more. But it can, like, let me show you a page here. Keep a science journal. This is like what is life? And I think it's great because it doesn't have a lot of busy work in my mind. I don't like science, I don't like Sunlight just because their science curriculum is very overwhelming. It has a lot of busy work. If you don't mind that and you find it interesting to do, go for it. To me, I don't like it. But again, personal preference. And Bookshark, Science, Sunlight, they're the same company. Okay, so one's secular, one's Christian. Okay, so, and even though it says it's a Christian curriculum, it's not really. Like, it's not. It's not. So this one, anyway, I don't know what it is. I don't think either. Might be secular, probably secular, but. So it talks about reproduction, circulation, respiration. So what is life? So what makes something alive? Okay, so it is black and white, and I think all you need is this book here, and everything's in it. It's expensive though. It's like, I want to say $100, $79 or something for this book. But everything you need is in this book that I have noticed, unless they've changed things around. All right, next up, what do we got? We got a couple cool different things to show you. Did I bring up? So I got some Abeka here. Abeka, I love Abeka readers. It's just so mother effing pricey, like $1,500 for like kindergarten, or $1,000 if you don't get the having other teachers do videos for your kid. Dude, come on. But I did order the Discovering God's World just to check it out, see what it's like. I really like it. I'm gonna do it with my kids. And for the 2 littlest ones, I got them. And so it covers discovering animals, insects, plants, seasons. So this is basically like their biology. The first one, that's what a lot of young programs, young programs open up with, is the biology. That's where they start. Just teaching you some stuff about that. So it's kind of a gentle Christian program, if you will. It does say Discovering God's World, so if you are not into that, you might want to avoid Abeka just in general. Another option as well is this one, which is Exploring Creation. And Exploring Creation, and what I love, I honestly wasn't going to buy Apologia. I wasn't until I found it at the thrift store, just like last week or a couple weeks ago. I found it and I was reading through it. And what I love is the concept that they believe in full immersion. They've done studies and they found that full immersion is better into science, which is why I think honestly doing like science in summer, or just like, and that's what you're working on solidly, even though you talk about it through the year, maybe diving into it deep in summer. I'm a big proponent of homeschooling year round because you kind of do it anyway. Your kids ask you questions, you know what I mean? I think a lot of us do it anyway. Okay, so it has the list of experiments you need to complete each lesson. Now, the problem I didn't like it is just because of the amount of text. So I'm not into it for younger kids, but I honestly think around middle school that I'm gonna go and take a look at it again. Now, reading through it, it is Christian. So I haven't looked through it enough to be like, is God written on every page? I don't know. But I do think it is a good curriculum. Their math curriculum is actually Mastery, in case you're wondering. I did a whole video on all the different types of maths and stuff, and I think I forgot to mention their math program, and it is Mastery, which I found very interesting as well. But anyway, so there you go. That is, let me show you some more pages of it. What does it cover? This is the Young Explorers, and it covers a lot of stuff. Like, it's a lot of stuff. So it's definitely a thorough curriculum, so I can see how people like this is Exploring Creation. This is a zoology too. I'd be interested in the zoology one. But what I like is it has, So it's got a lot of text there. And I'm sorry, I didn't read through it a lot. I just wanted to give you like a little preview as to what it looks like. Again, a lot of text, but you don't need outside books. Like they're not like, hey, go and pick up these extra books. Not that I can see at all. And again, it covers a lot. Like this one right here, the zoology 2. If your kids are interested in it, like covers seals and aquatics and reptiles and fish and sharks and rays. And so the aquatic animals. So I think it's cool. I wonder what the first one covers. I'd be interested in seeing that. All right, so what I love, I forgot to tell you about Abeka. All Abeka books are labeled right there and right there, so you know what grade level it's for. Because I was gonna bring up the little kindergarten one to show you too. Here it is, just the little kindergarten one. I thought I'd get just to check it out. Do you even need a book at kindergarten? I don't know, not really. But so it's like, right? So it's God's World, so it's definitely, does it have the K on there yet? See, it's got the K. So they're all very clearly labeled. There's some companies that don't clearly label them, which drives me nuts. Because like Apologia is meant for, I think, like the whole family. Whereas Abeka's like, no, this is 1, this is 2. Abeka they use for Christian schools, use it a lot. And it is very Christian, and this is very gentle. It's very gentle. So what is up next? Let's go back to a secular one that I have here. So I switched off of, I had the building blocks of science and I bought the first couple years. And it's definitely cool, it's definitely in depth, it covers a lot, right? Okay, so then this is the building blocks of science and I was gonna start it and it covers, look, so in every book, and it goes all the way up to like 8, I think, maybe even older than that, it has, so it covers, and it doesn't have a lot of wasted stuff, which I like, but it covers, see, the biology, the physics, the geology, the astronomy, so it's all very clear, okay, in what it covers. And then it's got like the history of science, the building blocks of science, the scientific method, and the summary. So that's what you're basically learning in year 1, and I think it's great. It's like one of my favorites because it doesn't have not wasted time. It's the experiments are very practical. Like, hey, get some Legos for this one. You know what I mean? So I really, really like that. But since we are getting to the end, is there any other books I need to cover? I'm going to switch from this 1 to 4, and I'm gonna start at probably grade 2 maybe even, and look at it. So I got the chemistry, the biology, and this is like the biology for some reason, which probably doesn't surprise you. I can't find all my books. Like I have to go through and organize it, but this is, they each come with the laboratory notebook, and so this is the biology laboratory notebook. So it's got like 1 page you do. This is what we're kind of switching to so it's got chemistry, biology, and so bear with me because this is why I'm doing this. So this is K through 4. So again, it's got 1 book for every of the 5 subjects. And what I like is then that frees me up to do a ton of like mini science units. So I can get them from like Rabbit's Tail or wherever I want. I can get whatever topic we're interested in. I can pick up and do, or child-led on science and just cover stuff we like. Especially in the younger years, go over stuff we like. So that's currently what I'm planning, and then we'll see beyond that. So that's currently my plan. I will say my yay or nay one science curriculum I didn't like, that I won't buy again, is the Naturally Curious. It's Naturally Curious. I'm not gonna buy the Naturally Curious again. I bought a couple units from them. I just didn't really like it. Like it said it was literature based. It's not really, the one I bought anyway, like the DNA one, it's not really a story per se. It's just there's a character. So I guess to them that makes it literature based. But I just didn't like it. It's just not my thing. It wasn't that pricey, I don't think, I can't remember, but it's cheaper to get it on Amazon, which kind of irked me a bit that they didn't tell me on their website that, hey, if you go, they'll print it off for you on Amazon and it's cheaper, but I don't know, maybe there's a difference between the two. Again, they didn't explain it to me. So it's just personal preference, but maybe if I checked out their other stuff, but I don't really want to. Unless they give it to me free, I will take a look at it and see, because maybe that'll change my mind. But beyond that, and I'm not gonna reach out and ask them because, or maybe I will. Maybe I will. I'll be like, hey, can I try another one of your curriculum? And I'll show you guys what it looks like. But to me, I just didn't care for it. So that is definitely my nay. All right, there's your science today. I'm surrounded by it. Clearly, I have to pack some stuff up. Can you say, please like and subscribe?
Please like to like.
And hit the bell for notifications.
Hit the bell for notifications.